all the times you came to support me, whether it was basketball or baseball or anything. You were always my biggest fan, and I wanted you to know how much that truly meant to me all of those years.
My favorite memory of my mom growing up was on Saturdays, she would sleep all the day till like 2 p.m. So she would lock Nate and I outside and leave us Kool-Aid. And I thought it was cruel and unusual at the time, but I'm so grateful that I spent my childhood exploring and being active and not sitting in front of a TV. And I built a lot of friendships this way. A more recent favorite memory is when she watched my kids on our 10-year anniversary. She had them for 10 days, and by the end of the time, she was pretty frazzled. So she came to get us from the airport and went to the wrong airport, wrong city. So we were waiting 2 hours. We finally got her there, and she just pulled up in the middle of the street and stopped and got out of the car with all this traffic zooming by and threw up her hands and said, "I'm done." It was pretty funny.
There were many times throughout my life that I needed you, but one time that I needed you the most was when I decided to go back to college. You pushed me to the extreme, and you absolutely would not let me fail. I can honestly say I would not be where I am today without you pushing me that hard, and I am thankful for that.
I needed my mother the most when I was 15 years old and I got into the car with some boys that A, didn't have a license, and B, didn't have insurance. And we went down the road and they didn't turn and we hit the telephone pole. And I remember running about a mile back to her as fast as I could, knowing that people were injured in the car. And I was so scared that she was gonna be mad. But she just hugged me so tight, and she just became like Superwoman. And she took us out of the hospital, and I've never seen her be that calm or poised. And she knew that I felt guilty, and she totally forgave me, and it was just a very scary moment, and she was just an amazing mom.
And you taught me so many life lessons growing up. But here in my mid-30s, you're still teaching me every day. 3 years ago, when you came over and you shared with us your diagnosis, I felt like I was going to lose you in just a couple of months. And here we are 3 years later, just based on how incredibly tough you were. And I knew you were a tough person, but I had no idea just how tough you were. And I've never heard you one time be negative or act negative about the situation. You just wake up, push forward with the idea that you're going to beat this because you have other things that you want to see and do. And so any time I'm having a bad day or I feel down, I feel a little negative, I just think about you getting through your day and thinking, if by God, if my mom can do it, then so can I.
The lesson I learned most from my mother comes straight from Annie, and it is, the sun will come out tomorrow. My dad's expression was always carpe diem, and my mom's was the sun will come out tomorrow. And they'll always be in my heart. Whenever I feel down or defeated, I just know that it won't last forever. I'm gonna be happy again. So I find a lot of solace in that.
My favorite memory of Grandma is the time when we were driving and we stopped to go somewhere, and we locked it, and Grandma locked the car with the keys in the car. So then I opened the trunk, then I put down the seat, the middle seat, and then I crawled through and got the keys and gave it to Mom.
Would you say that was very responsible of Grandma?
No.
My favorite memory of Grandma is whenever we go to family reunions, she always has some games for everyone to take place in. And she's always one of the most competitive people I've gone against, and that's what makes it fun while it lasts.